What is love? Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in my What is Love project. 30 days exploring what is not, and whatever is love. Day 20 Togetherness. Do you ever have this togetherness feeling? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you are spending some quality time with your favorite person, you love this person, and this person loves you. That togetherness feeling. The feeling when we just feel safe, perhaps we feel confident that we are shining stars, we can do anything we want because we have our favorite person backing me up there. And I think that's the most wonderful feeling. Almost like I can feel I'm invincible. But right now, as adults, I think a lot of time we need to be by ourselves. And what if we can have this togetherness feeling even when we are by ourselves, when we have no one around, and even when, for example, we are at the point of our lives when we find that me and my friends, we don't really connect anymore. I have changed, or they have changed, or you have moved to a new place and you need to find new friends and meet new people. What if in those moments, all the moments that we live, we can feel that togetherness within ourselves? That would be so good, no? Do you do that? Are you able to feel that togetherness when you're by yourself, regardless of what kind of situation you're going through? I don't know about you. I don't always able to do that. And when I met people who are like me, I start wondering, what is it? And like I mentioned before, the togetherness feeling is when we're with our favorite people, when we love these people, and when they love us. And I thought, well, if I don't love myself, I can't really have this togetherness feeling. I don't really want to be with myself. So what to do? So I started looking at what made me not loving myself. And one thing I found is that since our growing up years, I think we take in a lot of rules. The rules of whether we are good enough or not. So there could be rules like, I don't know, if I'm not a funny person, I'm not good enough. If I don't get married by a 30-year-old, I'm not good enough. If I don't have that amount of money for my salary, I'm not good enough. And so on and so on and so on. There's so many different rules. Then I wonder, who has that authority to make up the rules to say who is good enough and who isn't? I think we are the only ones who have that authority. I can make the rule for myself, and you can make the rule for yourself. Because we are the only one who think in our head. At least that's the theory. And I guess why we have all these rules, like, I don't know, polluting our being from other people, is because somehow we just take those rules in. I don't know. Maybe someone we love said that to us. Maybe our parents said, well, if you can't have a career, successful career, then you are not worthy of the life that you live in. Oh, that's harsh. Or I don't know, maybe our childhood best friends say, oh, your nose is so small, you're weird. And then maybe we just take it in. And sometimes I think we also kind of observe it and perceive and give us a rule ourselves. Like, for example, in when we are in school, some students have boyfriend, girlfriend, sometimes, and it's normal. And they're not going to get married now, but then they have boyfriend or girlfriend. And when some students that don't have this relationship, they might just think, okay, I'm not good enough because I don't have that. So I guess it's a lot of lack. Like, I don't have what these people have, and therefore I'm not good enough. And then we make up all these rules. And no wonder we're never good enough. And then when we have this sort of feeling, it's sort of like we constantly dismiss ourselves. And when we dismiss ourselves, I don't know what you would do. So for me, like, okay, this part is okay, that part is okay. This is, I don't want to, I want to just leave it out, like, just take out this piece and throw it out. Then I'm not whole anymore. I'm like in pieces. And until I pick up those pieces, I can never be whole. And how can I experience that togetherness feeling, that love? And people do say to each other sometimes, get yourself together. So why don't we? So I thought we can do experiment. So this is a little thing I do. I don't think it is going to solve all of anyone's problem, like not good enough problem, at one go. I think it will be like a start. And so I will just say what I'm going to do, how I do it, and then if you like to try it, just do it. I mean, I don't think it can harm anyone, but why not? So you make the choice. So I think the first step is we identify that rule of not good enough. And now I want to first of all mention that good enough feeling, I don't mean that we all just go like, yeah, I'm good enough for everything, and therefore if I don't get this job, I don't win this competition, it is all your fault. No, I think that's arrogance. I think when we feel good enough, we feel that contentment, that confidence, that help us to observe ourselves in a space of neutrality, in the place of neutral. And then from there we can make a choice based on what we want to do. Do we want to get another certificate, upgrade ourselves, so to speak, in order that I can do this job? Or I quite like to just spend my time doing my hobby, and therefore I will remain in this position, earning my same salary, and which is plenty for me. So this is like a conscious choice. And no matter then what we're doing, what we choose to do, we can be in that place of contentment, that togetherness feeling, and I think it's wonderful. So the way I do it, first I look for, just bring up one rule that I've been living by. The rule that tells me I'm not good enough, because I'm not that. So can you think of a rule Like for example, I think body shape, what kind of job, career, how successful we are, whether we're single or not, divorced, different things. So identify the rule, and you can say, but find it by saying to yourself, I am not good enough because, and you complete the sentence and see what it is. And then after you find out this rule that somehow got to you, see if you can remember who told you this rule or this concept, this belief. Maybe someone is popping up in your head. That's good. Or maybe there isn't any particular person. Could be somewhere in the society, kind of like you absorb it because you have observed that this is normal. And I don't have it, therefore I am not normal and I'm not good enough. Maybe. And then I assume that you don't want this rule anymore. So it's very simple. You can, in your imagination, say to this person who told you this rule, you can say to this person, thank you for telling me about this rule. I no longer want to live by this rule. I'm going to find my own rule. And so now I will give this rule that I have taken from you to the soil. And it would be the same if you have realized that you took in this rule that you created. So you thank yourself and you say to yourself, well, I don't like this rule anymore. I don't want to live by this rule anymore. I will give it to the soil. And why I said soil, like you can give to like God, if you like God, the source, you can give to your angels, or I prefer to use something that is more neutral, that people don't think about like religion or whether there is a God and this kind of thing. And soil, there are worms and microorganisms that they decompose things and they all become nutrient, hopefully. I think that's how it works. So yes, that's why I choose the soil. I give things to the soil that I no longer need. So this kind of energy will be renewed in the soil and become something that is good for the plants. Like that is like the whole intention behind it. But it's just easier when I just say, well, I give it to the soil. You can give it to someone else if you want, but please do not say you give it back to that person, because it's something that you don't like. Why would you give it to that person or anyone? And perhaps that person already have this rule in their head anyway. So just give it to the soil. That's it. And yeah, and then you can I'll say also remember to forgive yourself, because you did take in this rule. Maybe someone forced you, but I think our mind has the freedom to choose or not. Maybe we were very small when we took in this rule. But then, over the years, we probably have reinforced this rule by telling ourselves we're not good enough because of this, because of this, because of this. So we did this to ourselves. Even though we didn't start it, but we did it to ourselves probably many times. So just say something like, I forgive myself for harming myself with this rule or this belief, and see how you feel. And then you might give a little round up of this little experiment by saying, I accept this quality that I have as part of me. And now choose to believe that I am good enough. And I am good enough. Do you feel it? Do you believe it? So, I think it's okay when sometimes we want so much to change. But please remember that if you have, I don't know how old you are, how many years you have this belief, this rule that you live by. So, if you have, I don't know, lived with this for a year, and now, I mean, a year is actually quite a long time already. And now you suddenly want to change your mind like 180 degree and say, no, for the past year, I think I'm not good enough. But right now, this moment, I am good enough. It could be hard for some people. It depends how long you've been holding on to these beliefs and how many times you have found evidence to support your belief or your root. So if you feel, okay, it's so hard for me to even say that phrase, that sentence, I am good enough, put a maybe. You can say, maybe I'm good enough. Maybe I'm good enough. And maybe I start seeing evidence. Maybe I'll start making changes based on this hypothesis. So, yeah, that's what you might do. And in the same way, if you like to actually say more, because I'm good enough is sort of, I just use this phrase to run things up because lots of people feel they're not good enough for a variety of reasons. It can be like people feel they're not worthy of love. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve money. They don't, you know. And it's the same. If you feel that I'm not worthy, and then if you feel okay, I heard people can say affirmation is good, and then you start saying I am worthy, I am worthy. If you can do that, it's good. For me in the past, I find it very hard. So I say I put a maybe I'm worthy. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe I'm not so bad. Maybe I'm good enough. Maybe I'm worthy of love. Maybe I can have this togetherness feeling all the time, even when I'm by myself, even when I'm going through challenges. Maybe. And then when we put a maybe, when we have hypothesis, in our daily lives we might start noticing the world differently. Then I wouldn't know how it would be for you because I just don't know. So if you like, write a comment and let me know if you feel anything with this little experiment and or not. If you have a question, please do ask and I'll see if I can answer you or we can think about it together. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me today. I wish you all the confidence, all the good enough feeling, all the togetherness feeling that you wish to have. Thank you. Bye.